So cheery. So
That was
cheery.
awesome.
Wasn't it?
I loved that. That was
Yeah.
kind of like a Tom Waitsy version of Christmas.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, definitely drunk.
Dug it.
Drunk. Under the influence. Many influences, possibly.
So is
Wait,
that
me?
Ahmed?
Who, me?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I actually I came up with the bass line on the guitar, and then I just messed around with those melodies from Carmen and from Jingle Bells.
You wrote
And then I
that?
Oh, that was
sort
you?
of,
Sorry,
sort
I'm a
of.
little
Yeah,
slow
yeah.
on the uptake.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm still trying to get the news.
Wait, Jeff, you
More
wrote that?
deaf music for now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's like, I just bit off those two big songs and made it silly. And then Ahmed did all the magic. Like, he did all the arranging and getting all the
horns are
big horns and
great.
stuff. Oh yeah.
Good horns.
You guys.
I like
everyone,
the dissonance.
Everyone who's watching right now.
I like the consonants.
Kringle Down. Kringle Down is coming to our platform tomorrow.
I cannot wait for this one.
It's so good.
I cannot wait.
You guys.
We're going to do a special listening party.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Jeff, what does your sweater say?
It says your mom believes in Santa.
That's it. Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes.
damn.
Your mom believes in Santa.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Ouch.
I don't either, but
I like it.
it's terrible. It's a terrible Christmas sweater, and that's what you got to wear in this time.
Yeah, I think I could have gone worse with mine. I've got a lot of really tacky sweaters, and this, I think it's just not doing it for me. I'm gonna have to change my sweater every 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, you should do costume changes. I like
That's
that.
a good idea.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good sweater, though. I
Okay.
like
Good
it.
plan.
I think that's.
I'm
lovely.
getting paid extra for that, though, right? Do we have the budget for that kind of wardrobe?
I think so. Ahmed, could you check that real quick?
Okay.
Do you?
If
I
not,
think-
I'll
take
put
We're
away-
working for
eggnog
scale,
as
so
payments?
Yeah.
we got it.
Do you accept eggnog?
I mean, this is all I got left.
we pay you in cubes?
I have
Oh.
depleted my stores the last couple.
Oh,
Annie,
man,
don't
you
give
are-
away pubes just willy-nilly.
Pubes.
Who's
Did you say
Willie?
puke?
It's a South Park reference.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
It's a
Already
South Park
talking about
reference,
pubes, guys. I just
Yeah,
Yes,
just
yes,
Annie
yes.
goes out in the town and is like, why
Kringle
would
Down.
anyone sell me anything?
The only thing I'm plentiful in this year is pubes.
plentiful.
What kind of fairy is that? Like,
The
never
pube
mind.
fairy.
The pube
Carry a
fairy.
very
Okay, so
dangerous scissors with me everywhere I go.
Kringle
She's
Down.
from the
Kringle Down.
70s. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Tomorrow,
Soundbooth Theater
tomorrow,
live
guys.
after dark.
Kringle Down
It's
is
all
coming to our
pubes and
platform.
kringling.
It's our Christmas special, written by Shane Hensley, who actually runs Pinnacle Entertainment. If any of you guys are tabletop RPG fans, and if you've ever played Deadlands, that is who Pinnacle Entertainment. That's who what they're most famous for. But they have a ton of different RPGs. If you just check out their website, Peg Inc. That's PEGINC.com. You'll find all sorts of different role playing games. I mean, there's like one. I think one is called Goon. And one is called. They actually did a role playing game for Flash Gordon.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a super legit company, and we're actually going to be starting doing some of their audiobooks this coming year. And it's all it's all series of short stories, and so we're really excited about that. About being able to reach their audience and bring their content to you guys. It's gonna be a great partnership. But Shane Hensley wrote Kringle Down, and it's our introduction to them as far as their content, and we could not be happier with how the actual story turned out. This is like if Tarantino made a Christmas movie. I mean, this thing is ridiculous, and I think you guys are all going to enjoy it. It's just got that twisted, dark humor that I think everyone who listens to us probably has. So, what else
I
is
feel like
going on?
if Tarantino made a Christmas movie, what side character would he cast himself as?
Oh,
He'd
Probably
probably
an
put on
elf.
a silly accent.
yeah, he'd be an elf. He'd be like a floor manager.
Yeah, he'd be a
at the
manager.
factory.
Whatever it would be insufferable. But
Yeah.
I would still like the movie in spite of myself. But then he'd come on screen, I'd be like,
I feel like he'd be like Dasher. He'd be like a supporting reindeer.
I don't know if he's dashing enough. He could be like Prancer.
He'd give himself that nickname in the film.
Right.
Yeah.
They call me Dasher.
And another thing that's coming out tomorrow at the same time as Kringle Down is Emerald. That's book 4 of Land of the Elementals, narrated by Miss Annie Ellicott
Who?
here. And it's just the audiobook version. It's not the deep
Ellicott.
dive version. It's just it's
Because
Annie narrating and
we're-
us playing the characters.
We're
but
getting really into foreplay now. You know?
Yeah.
oh,
This book only
Wait,
costs 10
we're
pubes
live,
because
Annie.
it's
You know we're live, right?
audiobook.
Yeah, we like to show we want to show you like the book bare bones,
Yeah.
just naked
right.
before we pound you with the special effects and music.
Exactly right. And
I
what a
feel like there's
pounding
a
that
joke
will
for
be
that.
when it comes. Well, hopefully it doesn't come early, but like when it
It's just me, right?
when
it's
it
just
happens
me hearing this. Is
at the end of February.
am I
well-
some kind of pervert? Am I some kind of pervert?
I'm very excited about this.
How
Yes.
do I need to talk? to
I'm getting very excited.
It's a
And-
fantastic penis.
Anyone who
What?
anyone who hasn't gotten the news so far, you guys, both apps are available now. Our platform is available on both Android and iOS. So go to our website, look for that, or look for our newsletter. If you signed up for it, you'll see the links there. Or just go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Type in Soundbooth Theater. You should be able to find it. Do we have any other news, guys? Can you guys think of anything else that's newsworthy?
I don't
I-
think so.
I took a French certification test that was really stressful, and now it's
Did
over.
you?
Was
did
it
you tell
Bonn?
me- Whoa! Tell me about. Yeah, tell us about this French certification test.
I took the DALF level C1. If anybody has any foreign language certification, it's tough and it was rough, and I think it went well. But I
Do
won't
the
know
French
for 3
ones
more
go
weeks.
in
Well, what did you
Cs?
take it
Like
for?
C321?
Yeah,
One being the hardest?
Thanks for taking it,
C
Lori.
is the hardest, so it starts at the A levels, and C is the hardest. So I took
Oh.
C1 out of C2. C2 is the
That's-
very, very hardest. So
All
You're
right.
really good at
C1.
French.
yeah, I mean, we'll let them decide, I guess.
So what is your ultimate goal?
You
for-
need this certification if you are going to do any graduate school abroad in France. But
Ooh.
ultimately, it's mostly bragging rights. But I might also go to grad school in France.
That is so.
Grad
That makes so
exciting.
much. That is so French.
That's
You
like my
must learn to speak
dream
at a high
life.
level before you can be taught at our schools.
That's so
Do you have-
exciting, Lori. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome, though.
It was very
Impressive.
stressful. It was
Very
a
impressive.
7-hour exam, and I'm on the other side of it. I treated myself to a whole dozen oysters afterwards.
Oh, nice.
They were kind of gross, though. Like, I mean, they were delicious, but you had to chew them. You know, you're not supposed to chew oysters. You're supposed to let them slide, and you
Just-
Were they
Yeah.
gritty? Did you chew them and
Ugh.
get the little grit,
Ugh.
the little grit bits?
That's
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 my-
shit, isn't
a
it?
motherfucking grip it. Sorry, I gotta.
No, I'm a grit bit.
I got it.
Oysters.
Song stuck in my head there. Yeah, it was actually really delicious, but I've never seen such big oysters in my life. There's probably a joke here for that. but
Giant
it's mainly
oysters
just that I
dangling in
couldn't get
front of
my
you?
mouth, and I had to chew on it, and it was weird. And I felt weird about it afterwards. I was
Isn't it like a snot
it's not
texture?
right.
Yeah, you
Oh,
shouldn't
yeah.
chew them. You should never chew the oysters.
You're not
I
supposed to chew them. They're not supposed to be that big. They're like mutated, you know. That's why I think I might end up getting a prehensile tail or something.
Yeah,
'cause,
GMO.
That would be awesome,
oysters.
though.
I might
It
throw up.
wouldn't-
GMO
Letting you guys
oysters.
know
I
I'm
might
starting to-
actually throw up. Anyway, the point being, I hope it went well. Now it's over.
I hope it went well,
Language
too.
tests suck.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah,
I-
and the extent of my French speaking for the last 7 years has been like, yo, what's up, bitch? And at party, I don't talk like that, but at parties and friends and stuff, and I haven't given a formal essay in a decade, so it was rough.
Yeah.
It was
My
fucking
Japanese is
rough.
the same.
I had to present a thing that I had whipped together in a short period of time, and then they were debating me, native speakers were debating me, and they immediately were like, well, I fully disagree with a lot of what you just said, and I was like, great,
By the way, could you
I was
use
like,
some
"Oh,
vocabulary
of
you don't
course."
know?
as is your right.
Wow.
It was awkward as fuck. Anyway, yeah.
Sounds fun.
Keep some good thoughts.
Sounds like fun to me.
For me.
That's yeah.
Hashtag thoughts and prayers.
I wish that that the whole thing was documented because I
Yeah.
would like to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have brought it for the show. Yeah, should have given us an example.
We should make the next Soundbooth Theater just that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just-
I'm
Yeah.
like 4 sheets to the wind, so if you want to hear me say something in
Yeah, say
French,
something.
then I'll
Say I'm 4 sheets to
Quelque
the
chose.
wind in
Je
French.
suis complètement bourré, si tu veux. It's like, you know.
That is French is
So
a
hot.
ridiculous language because you could just say I'm taking a poop right now in my hand, and it would
still
just sound brilliant.
Chier dans la main.
Yeah, you're like, oh yes,
No.
please. What did you say? I don't even know, but thank you.
I just said I would like to take a pee down your corpse's throat without the head
Je vais
there.
pisser dans la gorge de ton cadavre.
How does it sound so fucking good? Like
Don't know.
saying the cruelest
It's
shit
getting
to
us views,
someone.
though. Getting us views. So when we're
Any other
doing
requests, just
Yeah, so-
YouTube it. I'm watching the YouTube thread.
If-
so.
if- so when we get to our request, you can just read all of your lines, just translate it to French and just read it in French instead of
And show that to the examiners. Be like,
Mm.
translating on the
Look at
fly,
you speak French
bitch.
all day.
yeah.
We
And
should
you
have
can
a
even-
conversation where you're speaking real French and I'm speaking gibberish French.
Yeah.
Je
Oh,
vais-
bon chance, donne le cul, s'il vous plaît.
All right.
Wow, that was spicy.
It's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
Well, you said it right. So
All
there you
right.
go.
Well, hey guys, so I think it's time for us to get started on some American folk.
Let's
What do you got?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
So I'm really glad to have Lori back to play Amanda Waverly. Waverly? Or is it Weaverly?
It's actually
Waverly.
pronounced
Waverly.
Yeah.
Waverly.
Yeah. She did such an excellent job last time. We sorely missed her for her role.
You can't take all the lady roles, Jeff.
I know.
Leave some for the ladies.
I know. But you have like the best one in this one. So
Thank you. Thank you.
girl
guys.
power, y'all.
Hell yeah. Thank you. I see I'm getting some bow love. Thank you.
Oh yes. Yeah. It's
Oh, that is a
it's,
gigantic bow. That's brilliant.
I thought that bow was like a filter
Gary,
that was.
we were like in
I thought that was like
together for,
I know. I'm not very observant.
I legitimately
Lori's
thought that
here!
bow was like a Snapchat filter or something
Well,
because it was so big and so like stark. That I
Shiny,
didn't
yeah.
think it was real.
I love
Well,
that.
everyone knows Annie is a gift.
The
Now, can we?
authentic Snapchat.
Do not open until Christmas.
Uh-oh. All right, guys.
Soundbooth Theater after dark.
Let's do this.
Okay,
Let's do this, guys.
let's do it.
Bethany, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Hello again, Radio for All listeners, and welcome to a very special holiday episode of American Fork, RFA's first true crime podcast. I'm your host, Bethany Lake, recording on location in, where else? American Fork, UT. We are here trying to solve the caper of who stole this beautiful town's beloved Big Arza, the world's largest operational deep fryer. Once again, I'm joined in the studio by RFA's social media maven and my new favorite co-host, Amanda Waverly.
Hey, RFA fam! So hyped to be in the studio again. Seriously, it's like I am my own goals. And I have you to thank for it, B. And this week is extra special because it's Christmas time in American Fork.
Yes, it is, Amanda. And no one does Christmas quite like the people of American Fork. It's not just the Christmas trees. The whole town is lit.
Yes, queen! You finally used lit correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, it really is a Christmas miracle.
Thank you so much. I've been practicing all month. It wasn't that long ago that my neighbor's dog passed, and I told him it was lit. He did not love it.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm super glad you did figure it out. But we should probably talk about the fire holiday attractions in American Fork before we get into the investigation, right?
Oh, yes, of course. American Fork truly goes all out for the holidays. They're even recognized as a North Pole satellite workshop. And they throw an official Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Christmas parade every year that's sponsored by Mitt Romney and the descendants of Joseph Smith.
Facts. This place is a verified Xmas town. It's like they might as well have a red and white check mark next to their handle.
Excuse me?
Don't worry, the kids will get it.
Oh, how lit.
No, you're using it wrong again.
Well, in any case, the American Fork Board of Tourism asked us to remind any of our listeners who plan to visit the town about the following attractions. First, there's the traditional American Fork production of A Christmas Carol with an ensemble of players from AFHS. Because nothing says holiday cheer like child actors.
What?
All attendees will receive a magic glasses ornament courtesy of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. If you're still looking for holiday joy, head down to the American Fork Iron Works shop where every year they proudly display their smelted nativity scene made entirely out of, you guessed it, folks,
What?
iron.
Wow, this town really gets in the holiday spirit. Though I will say, I went to check out the nativity scene the other day and it felt like less Son of God and more like Game of Thrones. Let's hope it doesn't end the same way.
Oh, stop it.
Okay, stop. You stop.
Before we move on to today's interview, our production manager, Teresa Marshall, has an important announcement.
Hello and happy holidays to all the RFA listeners and American Forkians out there. I just wanted to remind you all to hold your loved ones close this year because you never know when you might lose them. Here at RFA, we lost our beloved PA, Curtis Landers, and all we want for Christmas is a safe return. So if any of you listening know anything about his whereabouts, please call the Curtis tip line. I've set up at 1-800-FIND-HIM. That's 1-800-346-3446. Thank you so much, everyone. Please stay safe out there.
Thank you for that sobering reminder, Teresa. Of course, we all miss Curtis and are frustrated by the lack of development on that part of the case. But we have made some progress in the search for Big Arza. Isn't that right, Amanda?
Facts. Last week I talked to Blaze and Kutch about their alleged involvement in Arza's disappearance. Our friend Scoop the Loop made a pretty convincing case that the kids couldn't have done it. Do Forkians agree? Let's find out. In this next segment, we finally managed to snag an interview with head of the PTA and wife of Mayor Walter McCormick, Melissa Graham McCormick.
And her twin sister, school principal, Melinda Graham.
Move over, Kim. It's RFA's turn to break the internet.
You can break it?
What? No. It's like an expression from the time. You know what? Never mind. Just go on, girl. Just go on.
Okay.
Just talk.
Well, the two sisters, joined by the mayor himself, came into the studio earlier this week for a recorded discussion with yours truly. Evan, could you play the recording? Thank you all for coming to the studio today. Getting both Graham twins in the same room really was a huge coup.
You're so welcome, Bethany. I'm just so happy that you're putting a spotlight on the beautiful little paradise that is American Fork. Yes, let's focus on the beautiful town instead of the mysterious disappearance. Oh, hush. You're always raining on my parade. Well, maybe the reason I'm here is to remind you that not everything is a parade. Well, Mindy, it is the Christmas season. Maybe you could lighten up for once. It's easy to stay light when you've got a secret stash of Valium.
And welcome to you, Mayor McCormick.
Oh, please. Call me Mayor Walt.
Mayor Walt. Anyway, let's talk about the disappearance you mentioned.
I'm Melinda. I know it can be easy to confuse us sometimes, but just remember that her hair is 2 inches longer, and I'm the one who makes sense. She's also the one who has the miraculous ability to make any room colder just by walking into it. Well, not all of us learned how to convincingly fake a cheery disposition all the time to play politics in a town of just 30,000 people.
Yes, let's get back to talking about the town. Melinda, as the principal of American Fork High School, you must know the two young students from the big city who are causing such a stir.
Causing a stir? If by that you mean stealing a beloved town landmark.
Oh, honey, you don't know that those kids had anything to do with it.
Well, I do know that my friend Eliza, who's also the town treasurer, told me that they sold her sweet little ninth grader vaporizer pods. They're bringing nothing but mango-flavored sin to this town.
Oh, they're just making a little mischief is all. We may have been lucky enough to never have to deal with teenage rebellion with our own beautiful children. But that doesn't mean it isn't out there.
But they are suspects, aren't they?
They are active suspects, yes, but they are very far down on our list.
And who's at the top of the list?
Well...
Exactly. Excuse me, but I'm pretty sure she was asking me.
Yes. As a high school principal, I'm sure you have unique insight into the minds of youths. Tell us, do you believe Blaze and Kush could really be behind Big Arza's disappearance?
Well, in school, we call them by their given names, Xenu and Emerald City. And no, I don't think there's any chance they're behind this. In fact, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they had nothing to do with that friar going missing. Oh, come on. There's no way you could know something like that. You're just saying that to disagree with me. No, I'm positive. Teenagers today don't know how to use tools or do things. That's not true. Brigham, Elijah, Dinah, Ryan, Hannah, and even little Orson can all use a hand plane. Isn't that right, Walt?
I suppose, but just because we taught our children how to do something doesn't mean every parent has taught their children how to do the same thing.
Hey, if your kids are so good at operating basic tools, maybe some of them had something to do with it. You bite your tongue!
Now, Mindy, that was awfully uncalled for.
You know our children would never go against our word, or the Lord's, for that matter.
Anyway, aside from believing that they don't possess the ability to use tools, are there any other reasons you're so certain Blaze and Kush, Xenu and Emerald City couldn't have been involved?
Well, it's simple, really. What we have here are two children who want nothing to do with this town and think they're way above it. Why would they stoop so low as to entangle themselves with one of its most beloved symbols? Because they're heathens who just want to watch the world burn!
Well, hang on there, Missy. She does have a point. Their whole thing is apathy, and committing grand larceny just to upset folks isn't exactly something apathetic people would do.
Exactly. You get it.
Still, though, that sounds like more of a hunch to me.
Uh-huh.
Can you really be positive they had nothing to do with it?
Yes, I'm positive. It's one of those things I just know. Call it a principal's premonition, if you want. See, in spite of the auras they project, they're really two very kind and passionate young people. Why, I once caught Emerald City helping another student with her English homework. And did you know that Xenu likes to compare and contrast Descartes and Pascal in his free time? I'm telling you, these aren't bad kids. They just need someone to look past their rough exteriors.
Wow. It sounds like you've really taken an interest in them.
No more so than any of my other students. I do make an effort to know what's going on in my halls, though.
And I'm sure all of the parents and teenagers in American Fork appreciate that. Walt, I saw you nodding along there a bit. Do you agree with your sister-in-law?
Well, Can't say I know nearly as much about these youngsters as she does. But as mayor of this fine city, in my opinion, the best gosh darn city in the whole country, I have a hard time believing that any of our inspired young people could commit such an act.
But they aren't our young people. I cannot believe...
Well, there you have it, folks. It's been such a privilege to have the mayor, the high school principal, and the head of the PTA all in the same studio at once. And can you believe they're all family? Thank you all so much for coming in today.
Anything we can do to help. It's been a real pleasure.
Have a good one, Bethany.
Wow, girl, you crushed that interview, and twins always trend.
Thanks. Those were certainly some personalities to juggle. And speaking of someone well-versed in juggling personalities, we have Detective Scoop in studio with us to analyze the interview.
Happy holidays. And as always, thank you for having me. I brought my homemade snickerdoodles in for everyone. So, please enjoy.
Detective Scoop, wow. I wouldn't have taken you for a baker, but thank you. Wow, these are delicious.
You're welcome. I am more than a detective, you know. I'm multifaceted, layered, like a 7-layered dip. I'm the confluence of many complex flavors, and I'm always around. Yet no one seems to pay much attention to me.
Hang on, Scoopy. We love having you around. Besides, where else are we going to find another world-renowned culinary detective?
You're right. And I do apologize. I suppose I get a little melancholy around the holidays. It's been a few years since I've spent them with anyone. I'm always analyzing. I guess for once I'd like to be the one analyzed. But anyways, I do, of course, have some insight on the interview we just heard.
Do you think Blaze and Kush did it now? Or do you agree with Melinda?
Neither, Bethany.
So, what are you saying?
I'm saying we've made a development here today. Though what the development is, not even I can be sure.
So, do you have any new suspects to add to our list?
You worry too much about lists. The names of the potential perpetrators rattle as the winds of justice blow through the forest of fairness, rustling up the leaves of innocence and guilt.
Wow, well, you are saying things. What does it all mean?
It means we're one step closer to the culprit.
Exciting! So, who do you think it is?
I don't know. But I do have a feeling, in much the same way that a name is but a parent's feeling of their child's future.
Whoa, that is a vibe. So, what are you feeling?
There's something that rubs me the wrong way about these McCormicks and Grahams. What is their fascination with these two out-of-town children?
Well, to be fair, we did ask them questions about Blaze and Kush.
And let me tell you something else. I've known that family since my youth, and I know that Mayor Walt is more whipped than the cream they serve at the church's Sunday bar. Why didn't he side with his wife, as he always does?
Maybe he figured as mayor it would look bad for him to point fingers at two minors without any evidence. Something like that could hurt his chances of getting reelected.
I don't think so. Disparaging outsiders is typically a great way to win over the citizens of the town. And beyond that, I'm fortunate enough to have a sixth sense. And that sixth sense is justice.
Fantastic. Well, on that predictably underwhelming note, I'm Bethany Lake, and this has been American Fork. Until next bite, America.
America. America.
Oh, here she is. All right, we got Lori, we got Emily.
Whoa!
And
Ian coming in?
Emily,
Ian is here. All
Hello.
right.
have you shown us your marshmallow toes yet since we've been on air? I don't think
Ew,
you've been.
what?
No,
think you've had a chance.
I have not. Okay, so
What's
I
wrong
am
with your
wearing
toes?
my holiday onesie. Oh, you're gonna love it.
They're marshmallows.
I'm disgusted, but also it's so cute.
I know. It's so great. Oh, I want to eat them.
And that's my workout for the day too. So
Oh,
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah, that looked really
Great
good.
job tonight, guys.
I was impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great job with the script tonight. So
Oh, yes.
it's like we're one step closer to finding out who did it, except not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
intrigue.
And that
I
could
feel
be
like-
just
I
the
feel like
general
the-
theme, yeah.
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 The culprit's gonna just like crash into the studio. I feel like they're just gonna fall through the roof of the
Yeah.
studio
It's
out of
like-
a hot air balloon.
I was in the next state over. I ran as soon as I heard the first episode. I didn't.
Yeah. I've had a very guilty conscience, just no transportation.
Yeah. The car was in the
I
shop.
think it was
Yeah.
George Soros,
Um,
but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Not a bad guess.
I feel vindicated because Scoop, my spirit animal of this show, pointed out that the twins are suspicious. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
There's something.
Well, you
going
might be right, or you might
Scoop,
be
there
wrong.
it
Ooh.
Scoop,
Yeah.
there it is.
Sounds like
but
we're
you
not
didn't-
getting any answers.
Well, actually, that was one thing from the beginning of the season. I asked Jeff and Ahmed if they wanted us to tell them, as the story develops, and they said no.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I think that's the way to do it.
It's more
So
interesting.
you guys are flying blind. But we actually finally kind of sat down.
I think that was
and
also
did
good
a
for us
big
at the beginning, 'cause
diagram.
we didn't have to figure it out until like last week.
Yeah. And we sat down for a few hours, and a lot of the questions we'd had when we first started writing by now have kind of answered themselves as the characters sort of flew off the page thanks to you guys. So yeah, definitely excited to see what's coming next.
Yeah, great job tonight, everyone.
Awesome
I was so glad that I was late to miss the first read through, so I didn't get to hear Gary do Teresa's rant like the first time through.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, we got to write her in more, and I think Gary should always be her now. So.
Yeah.
I almost died. That was.
Me too.
It's really good.
You couldn't see me, but I was choking on air.
Also, I think that the number 2 MVP was Lori tonight.
Yeah, Lori,
Yes.
great.
Amazing job.
Oh,
Definitely.
I'm barely conscious. Like I wasn't
Perfect.
kidding about being 10 sheets to the wind. I mean, I said 4 before,
Dude.
but now I'm
It was
10.
4, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Now
it's
it's 10.
Fine, whatever the
exponentially-
process was, just repeat it. Yeah.
The
You did-
trajectory
Yeah.
is very much upwards.
Like,
Yeah. Well,
Very-
definitely both twins, though, deserve some recognition.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
that
sure.
That was
great.
great.
That was
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really good at playing older ladies. What can I say? It's just one of my specialties.
It's just my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Oh.
Dumbledore
Uh,
clap.
What's
Little
that?
Dumbledore
And Annie
clap.
Dumbledore clap?
shined as always.
This is Dumbledore clap.
Ah, so it is.
The main thing is the bow. The main.
They're
thing
gonna
about
make
my
a joke about a
performance
window
was
or
the
something.
bow.
Okay. So you guys, thanks so much again for another.
Thank
great
you. And
Yeah, thanks for doing it again. Appreciate
a
it.
merry, happy everything to everyone. Happy 7th night of Hanukkah to my fellow
Happy 7th
members of
night
the
of
tribe out
Hanukkah.
there.
Yeah, how many?
What do I
episodes
say
we
to wish you a happy? Am I like shalom or like what do I say? How do I say that?
You can say happy Hanukkah.
Happy
That
Hanukkah!
works. Thank you.
But
So
before you guys go, how many
Yes.
episodes do you have?
So we have done 5, and the season is 12 episodes long.
All right.
Ooh.
So we got a
So
year.
full year, yeah. And
Yeah.
don't forget, you promised that we could film the last episode in American Fork.
Hey,
You said
you know what?
that.
Maybe
Don't forget that.
Maybe we should fucking do it. I mean,
I think we should.
That would be fucking
Yeah.
great.
Post
I
COVID,
would
Utah,
love
pretty
to.
nice.
No, but it'll be August. So like the vaccine will
Yeah.
have been out for a while. Hopefully people.
Yeah.
No,
But
I'll do it in August.
Birthday.
What? Why not August?
It'll be my birthday in August
My-
23rd.
Hold on. Well, we can do this probably off the air.
Sure.
Yeah, but there's a month I can't do it.
And it's
Oh yeah,
all-
mid-August is fine.
Okay.
So
Well.
do everything around me. That's the
Yes,
season.
better not clash
we're
with
going
Dragon
to
Con.
Utah.
Right.
All
And
right.
it-
Thanks
No
so much
clashing
for
with
having
Dragon
us.
Con because some of us are going to be at
Thank you,
Dragon
guys.
Con, but that might be early September. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, we got to keep an eye on Dragon Con. We got to do that.
Mhm.
We got to come
Ooh,
back.
Yes.
Okay, so I just left a link to the playlist of the first 4 episodes of American Fork. They
Go
are
watch
on our
'em.
YouTube channel, separated out. Everything's segmented out now, guys. So if there's a favorite thing about this show that you like to watch, just check our channel, find the playlist that has all of those on there, and you can follow it all. So again, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for these little episodes, and I can't wait for next month.
Thank you guys again.
See you next month.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy
All right.
holidays.
All right, so
Merry
our
happy.
next segment is another. Yes, please. Yeah. Let's go. There we go. Thank you, audience. Yeah, of course.
Wait.
All right. So our next guest is Mr. Shane Hensley, the author of Kringle Down, who that is our Christmas special this year. Our first. Yeah. Thank you, audience. Yes, give him a warm round of applause. So this is our first Christmas special, right? I mean, our platform just launched. What was it? A month and a half ago now? 2 months?
Wow, really?
Yeah. And so we have our first Christmas special written by Shane Hensley, and what a Christmas special it is. Oh my God. Shane, please tell us where the hell this came from.
Jeez, where did it come from? Well, first off, hi, everybody. I don't have a cool Santa hat, and I'm really out of focus, aren't I?
Uh-oh. Maybe
I am wearing a Nightmare Before Christmas shirt, though. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
That's holiday cheer right there.
Yeah, that's something. Wow, so out of focus, right?
What happened?
I
maybe
don't
you just need
know.
to wipe it off?
Did
Oh,
you
yeah,
get some
we did it.
Vaseline on the lens?
Yikes.
Did our first performance get too hot for you?
Maybe. Let's see.
Clogged it up?
How about that's no better. I was in a playtest on Roll20, and the camera might have autofocused on that. Well, you're just going to have to listen to my voice made for silent movies, I guess, and not focus on my beautiful face.
It's
Oh
totally
my
fine.
gosh, that's really bad.
It's
Okay, we
not
got.
so bad. It's not so bad.
It really isn't.
We'll bring you back the same size as the rest of us. If we notice it clear up, we'll zoom back in. But yeah, so all right. So Kringle Down. How was this born in your mind?
Yeah. So where did I come up with it? Okay. So I grew up. My early life in Ohio, and then we moved to Southwest Virginia. And when I was in my teens there was something called the pot mine. And the pot mine was, in fact, an old coal mine that a bunch of people, including some of my family members, had turned into a hydroponic factory for marijuana. And it was the biggest drug bust in Southwest Virginia history, and all kinds of crazy stuff happened up there, right? So, years and years go by, and I've watched lots of narco fiction and cartel movies and all that kind of stuff. And it was a snowy day a year ago when I was thinking about all that, and I thought about a movie, and I don't want to give too much away, but this kind of does. I was thinking about a movie called The Santa Claus for some reason. I think it popped up on TV. And these elements just kind of came together. What if, gosh, I don't want to give it away, right? But Kringle Down is a pretty big hint, right? But I wanted to do something kind of Tarantino-esque and a little more rowdy and mature than our usual stuff that I do for Pinnacle, my company. And this is kind of if Tarantino wrote The Santa Claus with a little bit of Sicario in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's actually a very,
Great
very apt description.
Yeah.
It was a
Okay.
blast
Very
to
enticing.
perform. You came to us with this project literally maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
It wasn't long.
So I wish that we had time to hire other actors to actually play a few more of the parts, but I had to handle it on my own. I hope I did all right. But
You did great.
Sure you did great.
we also hired Harlan Guthrie of Invictus. I don't know if any of you guys are fans of Invictus or not, but that's our number 2 man, Justin Thomas James's gaming group, and they stream themselves playing RPGs online. And Harlan Guthrie is the other arm of Invictus, and he's got his own audio drama called Malevolent that he's been doing. He's been doing a serial that's like weekly and kind of like crowdsourcing choose your own adventure for a while. And so he really got his sound effects chops up, and to the point we were able to hire him to do sound effects for Kringle Down, and he did an amazing job.
Yeah, they're cool.
Ahmed, our producer here for Soundbooth Theater Live, also produced the music and did all the editing and mastering, and he just everything polished off.
It is badass.
Beautiful.
Yes,
So,
Ahmed, yes.
I'm really looking forward to people listening to this, but I'm also looking forward to people using or kind of taking this this production as kind of a gateway into getting interested in Pinnacle Entertainment and what you guys are doing there. So can you tell us a little bit more about your company and what you guys do?
Yeah, sure can. And I'm excited about it too, because we've been producing something we call Wendigo Tales, which is the fiction line for our games. So for those who don't know, we make games like Deadlands and Rippers and East Texas University and all this stuff. And we've done fiction on occasion for them. Deadlands is the biggest. It's had novels by Tor. It's had the short stories that we've written. It's had some of our, our in-house guys have done treatments of like some of our big adventures, written as fiction. So we've been kind of self-publishing it and waiting to do something bigger with it. We haven't published it on Amazon, for example. We haven't gone to any other publishers yet. We've been kind of holding back. And when the opportunity with you guys came up, I think that really helped us decide how we want to do things going forward, right? So for us, what we want to do, we're going to release them in print and Kindle and Soundbooth, all at the same time, right? As much as we can, and however much you guys want to work with that. But the stuff we do, it's adventure fiction, from the gaming industry. These are the hardback versions of some of the books. Wow, the camera is just
For
dead.
this particular purpose, it is
Yeah, so I don't know what's wrong. It's been so clear all day. You know what? I'm gonna unplug it real quick, okay?
Okay.
So just hang on a sec.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna see if I can find digital versions of the cover of the show.
You know
Do
what?
we have some elevator music we can put here?
This is probably the best time for me to rewater.
Oh yes,
Back, folks. I'll come back quietly.
Do it.
go make water.
That's not elevator music.
Welcome to the elevator. You're going
Mariachi.
that direction.
Don't worry, it won't get trapped.
Never
Trapped in
happens.
elevators.
Hey,
Has anybody
Ahmed,
gotten trapped in an elevator before?
I'm sending you a link through the Discord chat.
Anyone who says they've been trapped in me is a liar and a cheat.
You'll
And
find
they've probably never ridden an elevator before.
you'll find a PDF at
Is
the
Gary
bottom
also
of that.
10 sheets to the wind?
Maybe.
No.
I should be.
14.
I feel irresponsible now that I'm sober and like everybody else is having a good time.
You're not setting a great example as an employer or a friend. It's like you're leaving me alone, high and dry here.
What kind of boss doesn't get drunk at company
I'm sorry.
functions?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
So disappointing.
All right. I'll do better next time. I'll have 3 whiskeys before we even start.
You'll have a bottle with a straw in it and a can-do attitude.
I think your restart actually helped. Let me see if I can.
I do too. I can
crystal
see.
clear, beautiful.
I'm human. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I took over for the producer on accident. Ahmed, go ahead and. There we go.
We go. Well, it's not crystal, but it'll work. All right. So we make these nice, pretty hardback books. Each one of them is full of short stories. With Jeff and the crew there have so kindly agreed to take on and do audio versions for. Right. So we're super excited about that. And again, I'm gonna try to put these things all together for our fans so that they see both the audio versions and the Kindle and the print versions all at once, and make it something super cool.
Cool. So is Kringle Down already? Is Kringle Down already on Amazon right now?
I did put it up there. I haven't told a soul about it, so I don't think anybody would know about it. I'm waiting till we do the social media release tomorrow, and then I'll publish links to it and Soundbooth at the same time.
All right, great. So yeah, everybody watch out if you like to have both the audio and the Kindle version. It'll be out.
Who is that? Where's that coming from?
That is the audience. Chill, Lori. Come on, it's all right.
No,
They're just off frame.
Easy.
So Ahmed, do we have a sample to play for the people?
Ooh, yeah.
Preview?
Wait.
The trees were wet with snow, but fuel from the plane had soaked through and the upper reaches were burning, casting the scene in orange firelight. Smoke from the wet wood filled the clearing, battered down by the constant snowfall. Agent Harkins exited the driver's side and checked his pistol. Agent Grant did the same, then gave a holy shit whistle. The cockpit was mostly intact. It was possible the pilot was still alive. Of course, if this was actually a cartel plane, that pilot might be armed as well. You ladies stay here, Dave warned Sophia and Inez. Agent Harkins and I will check it out. Might be messy over there. Sophia rolled her eyes. Both women were covered with blood and tissue from the crime scene they'd been cleaning for the last 4 hours. There wasn't likely anything here that would faze them. Still, it was cold out and neither were interested in getting out of the car, especially in the ridiculously slick work shoes that were part of their company-issued uniforms. Dave and Max stepped through the snow, waving away the thick smoke in front of them. The two men saw broken branches, debris from the Cessna, and strangely, scattered Christmas presents. Fuck me running, Max. Was this some kind of Toys for Tots plane or something? Or was the cartel playing Santa Claus? Max remained silent as usual, listening carefully for any sound from the wrecked plane or surrounding woods. All was silent, then suddenly, an animal wailed from the shadows of the woods. Agent Grant jumped, startled. The fuck? The agent took a penlight from his vest and pointed it into the darkness. Barely visible in the gloom was a deer. The animal was on its side in the snow, soaked in blood, a massive piece of cockpit glass sticking out of its side. A fucking deer! Shit! You see that, Max? The plane landed on a fucking deer. Max crouched down and looked around the scene, covering his partner's rear. Dave walked through light brush to the mewling deer. Sorry, big guy. That's some bad luck. He put a round into the deer's head. The animal kicked violently, but didn't die. Fuck! Dave put the muzzle up to its head and gave it another round. This time, the animal went limp and died. Max crept beneath the plane, peering up. Dave, look! Agent Grant shined his light up at the smashed cockpit. A gloved hand hung through the broken window. All right, so that's
wow, what a performance!
Whose glove? Whose glove was it?
Huh?
Who played the deer?
What deer died?
Solid
What deer died?
acting.
That was me. All voices were me. Yeah.
I think everybody should do their deer impression.
Yeah, I want to hear everybody.
Deers are like, they sound oddly like kind of like aggressive. You think like, I'm a deer, I'm graceful. They're like,
These are, not to give any too much away, but these aren't regular deer either, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Are they the rainy kind?
I'll give you guys a little insight. Like the last gunshot that goes into him, there's just the tiniest sound of sparkles. There's like glitter.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
So if you guys listen to it again, listen to the little.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yes.
Escaping.
Yes, so it will be available tomorrow. It's not even 2 hours long. If you have a dysfunctional family, you can listen to it with them for the holidays. And
That sounds
yeah,
Just
and
put
it's
it
really
on.
good for
Don't even tell 'em.
families.
Yeah, it's good for
Yeah.
families.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. So, Shane, can we just hear a little bit more about what Wendigo Tales is? And I'll tell everybody now, we're just going to be doing audiobook versions of these series of short stories. These are Wendigo Tales, and these are all season 0. Is that right? Season 0
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what we
respective
called.
universes?
Yeah, well, it's volume 0. It's actually
Volume
the first 3 seasons. This is what we call them. So our seasons just kind of corresponded to different game lines. So one of them is Necessary Evil, which is a setting in which all the superheroes of the world were tricked into. They were tricked by the bad guys and they were killed. And then the aliens invade and the bad guys have to save the Earth. So the fate of the world is in the hands of the scum of the earth.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah, so that one's really cool.
That's what we do, Annie.
Weird Wars is our horror war stories, and we have Rome, Weird War 1 and Weird War 2 in this one. Weird Wars Rome and the other two. And then the last Parsec is our science fiction setting. And it's kind of a cross. If you're a gamer, you might remember the old TSR Star Frontiers. So it's somewhere between that and Aliens.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are giving us lots of varied content. Like there's so much difference in every one of those clusters of titles that like we're gonna have a blast just trying to figure them out. And I'm gonna be giving each short story is going to be narrated by, obviously not everyone is going to be narrated by someone different, but we're not going to have each collection done by one person. Like we're going to pick the right people for the job.
That's awesome because the writers are incredibly varied, right? Like one of the gals who wrote one of the last Parsec stories was the lead story person on Star Trek Online, for example. Another guy, a friend of mine, Cameron Dayton, I'm not sure exactly what his title was, I think creative director on one of the Call of Duty titles. Other people are gamers or they're authors in the game industry, or they're authors in the fiction industry. So they're really varied, and they come from a lot of different backgrounds, and I think that makes them cool. We've done some other long form fiction that is one person's voice, but these are cool collections. I think there's something everybody will find something they like in here, and you doing them with different performers is really going to bring that out. And I don't mind saying that we love the deep dives you guys do, and we're really hoping we can do that in the future with some of these. Like what you did with Kringle Down. I mean, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to doing any more of those. I mean, that's our wheelhouse. That's where we have the most fun, when we can fully flesh out our stories in audio. But you know what? Audiobooks are like that for us. We can get those out there quick. And if people show more, like lots and lots of interest in the audiobook versions, hell, I mean, there's no reason why we can't at least push for it and try to get those deep dives done. So again, Shane, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Let me plug you real quick before I go. I'm out.
All right, audience. Okay, come on, audience. Like, chill out. He's trying to talk here.
So if any of our fans are watching, you already know the stuff we make and have access to some of these things in print, right? So what I would want you to take away from what Soundbooth brings to it is two things. One is, these guys, Jeff, I've heard, I don't know who all was on Emily's story for Space Buns, but the voices were fantastic. The performances were excellent. I mean, just engaging and fun, right? And the awesome thing about the Soundbooth platform, which you can now get on Android, Apple, and PC, right?
Yep. Well, the PC it's just a web browser.
Well, it's a web browser, right?
Yeah,
but you get it. Yeah. But what's great is, it's tough to do short stories on some of the other audio platforms out there. And the way you guys are set up, it's a super colorful interface. You can't help but just grin from ear to ear when you look at all the offerings you guys have, from, Deep Madness to Space Buns to, now Kringle Down. And the short stories have, a suitable price that goes with them, and you can just download those and, listen to to a ton of them, whereas with a larger book, you make a larger commitment. That's cool too. But this is a platform that you just don't see very often in audio, I think. So I think that's super cool.
Well, thanks so much for the plug, Shane. And thank you, everybody who's watching from the Pinnacle side. Welcome to our show, and I hope you stick around we do this every 2 weeks. So
Awesome.
We won't be doing it the upcoming one because that's like
It's like the
Christmas
20th
Eve.
day of Hanukkah.
I don't know. It's a off limits day, whatever it is. Next Thursday is.
Like
But
New
we're gonna
Year's
pick back up
Eve
and
or something?
yeah,
Like
maybe.
negative
Maybe
3
it's
day
Christmas
of
Eve, I don't know.
Kwanzaa. So like.
Yeah, though I've heard Santa's had some glitches this year, so
yeah.
I have to see how that works out.
Yeah,
But,
it's gonna be an interesting Christmas.
Yeah. But thanks so much, Shane, for coming and hanging out with us. It was a pleasure having you, and I'm really looking forward to the coming year working with you and all the Wendigo tales.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay.
Wow, what a lovely
I'll have
person.
That was great. Yeah, and Soundbooth Theater is doing our own listening party. Our special holiday listening party this coming Sunday evening that I'm very excited.
Well, okay, don't get people too excited about it. This is team only.
Sorry, I just wanted to brag.
Yeah, okay.
You guys, I just wanted to gloat that like
Y'all
we're
fuckers
doing,
can't come.
We're doing
Yeah.
like an in.
Are you on the team? Doubt it.
Team like thing between
no,
us.
you're not. Probably.
Are you up here? Because I don't see you.
Right.
God.
But
I'm
of
just
course,
so excited
Shane,
that I got
shit,
invited
Shane
to a
just
party.
left.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It looks like Shane may still be in the green room. Maybe Jody's still in the audience here. She
I
can.
really
she
wanted
can
to
hear us.
I wanted to let him know that we were doing that.
We are doing a listening party in our Discord server. So I'll go ahead and send an email to them, but they need to make sure I need to make sure that they know they're invited. All right. So we have now Gary needs to get going here pretty soon, right? Is that right?
I do.
Okay, so let's do Gary.
Damn it, Gary.
Let's do Gary's games.
Do it.
And then we'll do the
Germs.
request.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
you guys, Lori, can you play a dwarf with a Jersey accent?
You cut out. What am I playing?
Can you play a dwarf with a Jersey accent?
We'll find out.
All right. That's for later. That's for later.
I
after
thought
Gary's games.
dwarves were all like Scottish.
No,
Yeah,
apparently that's not allowed anymore.
Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's racist.
Are we
to assume they're
on
Scottish.
path to villainy?
No, we
Are we
are
on
gonna do
that?
Gary's games first.
Oh, we're
Not
doing
yet.
a
Gonna-
game. Okay,
gonna
we're doing
give
a
this
game.
a
We're
go.
doing a game.
So,
Got it.
Gary-
Got it.
Gary, you
Yeah,
tell us.
Jay-Z's
what
not
is
my
up with
best,
this
but
game.
all right.
All right. This
Pretty good.
game is called Santa's Lap. We're not going to play Santa's Lap. We're going to play Krampus's Lap simply because I
Oh,
like
yeah.
Krampus. If you don't know who Krampus is, he's a German Christmas demon that takes naughty children and, I don't know, throws them in a sack and off a
Beats
cliff.
them.
So we need to pick one of us to be Krampus, and that person has to essentially leave the area and not be able to hear us anymore, because the rest of us will then pick a character trait, a something that we do, and we'll try to act that out as best we can without actually, here's what the site says, right? Some examples: a man without any bones, a woman who's madly in love with pasta, and a child who fears candy. We gotta pick-
Sorry.
we make something like that, and
That's so
not just be like,
wacky.
I'm a child and I hate candy, I'm afraid of it. Just have to act it out. And Krampus has to come in and really ham up the fact that he's a German child-hating demon
Okay.
and try to guess what our thing is. It doesn't matter if Krampus can't guess. This probably will make it more fun.
And
Okay.
if the Krampus is having trouble guessing, can we have like other
Yeah.
actors call in and be like, "Oh, it's your mother,"
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
and like,
Just don't
I
crap
say
a
yes.
style.
yeah, let's do
And
that.
then it'll be fine.
Okay.
All
Who
right.
would like to be Krampus? I can do it if it's Jeff can be
Oh, look, who
Krampus.
wants to be Krampus?
Okay, you need to be gone so that you can't hear or see us. And honor system, try not to look at the chat, because suggestions for our characters are very welcome from
If it's
the
going on too
audience.
long, just look at the chat.
Okay. So I'm
Yeah,
going to-
that can be
I'm
your.
going- deafen myself
I
here.
might have had too
Yeah.
much whiskey for this, guys. We'll find out.
You've had the right
We'll find-
amount of
we'll
whiskey
find
for this
Yeah,
game.
I
probably.
might have had
All right,
just the
so
right amount of whiskey for this, guys.
all right.
That's one other.
I
I'm
think
just
you
gonna
did.
take my
I think
headphones
it's a
off.
lucky day
Jeff,
for you.
before you go, make sure you can see us, I suppose, or maybe Ahmed can be like, come back, or the private chat or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll do something. Be like, come back.
Okay.
How
I will.
we be
I
like?
will watch.
Give us a thumbs up when you can no longer hear us.
Okay.
Oh
You
my
have
God, Jeff is so
lustrous
stupid.
hair.
Huh? He's a stupid boy. I hate Jeff. Okay, he can't hear us. So what will we pick? So Arnold Sports and Jaeger is one of them. One of us can do that.
Is that different from regular Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold.
He loves
Schwarzenegger.
sports, maybe. It's like, well,
And
he does love
Jaeger?
sports, doesn't he?
So basically, Arnold, it's like a sports-loving.
And
Jägermeister
Don't forget
drinking.
the Jaeger.
Oh, Jaeger.
I kind of wanted to hear Annie do an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Who loves
Okay.
sports and
That could be
Jägermeister?
fun.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. What do you want to do, Lori?
That- That leaves me at the mercy of whichever suggestion is next. So whatever is
What's
next,
it gonna be?
I basically have to do it.
Okay. And let me see. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna be googling stuff. So if something comes up before I'm finished,
It's not fair for me to do my own suggestion, you know.
of course it
Those are
is.
the-
What is it?
Them's the rules. I don't have one. I wasn't kidding about being 10 sheets to the wind. It's a week, you know. It's been a week.
It's been a week.
I'm gonna be a dog that has recently gained sentience. I'm a talking dog.
Dogs have Okay, yeah.
Well, a human level intelligence. then.
Good clarification there.
Which human?
Yeah, are we talking like
Ooh.
human on human, or are we talking like? I don't want to offend our.
I'll figure it
human
out.
Fans.
Yeah.
Laurie, you can be a French painter, and so only speak French, and Jeff has to figure out that you're a painter.
What?
I don't fucking know.
Somebody did just suggest Steve Irwin.
Oh, please be Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Or do we
Okay.
all come in at once, or?
No,
We'll
I think
pretend
it's gonna be
Krampus
one
will
big
come into a
time.
room and he can talk to us. So Krampus will pick when he can talk. When
All
we
right.
can.
Okay.
Come
Okay,
back.
we'll see how this
Come
goes.
back.
This is gonna be tricky.
Or here he comes. Krampus, I'm going to be Gary for a second. Can you hear us?
All right.
Okay, so you get to ask us questions, Mr. Krampus. So just go ahead.
All right, little boy and girl. I want to know what you want for Christmas this year, so I can shove it up your ass.
Oh.
Please tell me. Blonde one.
Yeah.
The one whose hair we can actually see is blonde at the moment.
Well, actually, if I could ask just one request, it'd be that you make a donation to an animal-loving charity of your choice. But, really, it doesn't matter which one, just as long as it's sizable, eh? Oh, sorry, I gotta go. Gotta get that.
You seem like you are hunting. I respect the hunt. But I don't know where you are. It seems
Down
like a
under.
foreign land. Down under.
Shh.
This sounds made
Quiet
up to
part
me.
of the swamp.
You seem like you are very used to hosting a show where people follow you around and see animals.
That's all very well, but I don't know how you expect to sneak up. I don't know when I got cocked. I've got a...
Oh, you cannot fool me, little girl. Or little
I want
man.
to snake up on these bloody beautiful creatures. We're going to have to be very quiet for a minute here.
Are you going to stick your thumb in the gator's butt?
Well, actually, that's a wonderful way to placate it. Well, I come behind him and I grasp him firmly but gently by the mouth.
I think I know who you are.
A
Am I
wild
supposed to
Gary.
guess, or am I supposed
Yeah,
to...
let's give it a
I'm
go.
supposed to guess. I think you are the crocodile hunter.
That's right.
Oh!
I'm being stung.
What other celebrity has such a ridiculous accent?
I
Okay.
don't know.
They
I
don't-
can't
All right,
even
my
think of
little-
anyone who has such a ridiculous accent as him. He's like
My
a
little-
caricature of himself.
My little present. Who are you? All right, I want to hear more clues from you.
There are things that I would like from you for Christmas. Can I tell you what my list is?
I feel like I don't need to know much more.
There are very
Before I
particular
can
things
guess who
about
you
me
are.
that you need to guess. I am a
Okay.
little bit harder than the last one.
It's not wrong.
Are you?
Okay.
I mean, my
So,
body is a little
have
bit
you-
harder.
What a
Have
narc.
you already starred in your own Christmas movie before?
I can't remember too many steroids, but I can tell you what I want for Christmas. I would like anything that's like a soccer ball or a baseball bat, or I would even like a basketball or a basketball hoop, or maybe even a hockey puck, or even just the stick that you hit the hockey puck with. I think maybe like that pig skin, it would be a very sweet thing to put in my giant stocking.
I have a feeling that you know very many cold puns as well. Is that right?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but could you please get me some shin guards? I can tell you that you probably know who I am by now, but maybe you don't know what I really secretly like.
All right, Arnold. What do you want for Christmas?
Is there anything that all these things have in common?
They sound like they are sports paraphernalia.
Very good. Now, 2 down and 1 to go. There is one other thing I would like for you to fill my stocking with.
Hey, Annie, let's take a shot of the worst liquor ever.
What do you mean the worst liquor ever?
I got
It's
some
the best
ideas.
liquor ever.
What's the one with the fucking antlers?
Yeah, what are you going to make fun of it because it has antlers on the front?
Antlers. Oh! Are you talking about Jägermeister?
Very, very good.
Oi.
Now you
Arnold
know who
on
I am
Jägermeister.
and what I want for Christmas. Oh, hold on. I think I've got a tumor.
I have to
It's
feed
probably
you,
just a
Arnold.
teratoma, but we'll check it out. See if we can find any organic material.
Oh.
Was I supposed to guess what Steve Irwin wants for Christmas as well?
No, you
technically
just gotta
you've
guess.
already got me. You already got
Yeah.
me. You won that part. I'm just trying to help out with the
All
other
right.
one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being so helpful, Steve Irwin. But I have one more little boy to guess. Come on, little boy, tell me.
Yeah. Well,
Answer my question. What do you want for Christmas?
well, I recently went through a change in my life. Major change. I knew that I can do things that I wasn't able to do before. So I'm just adjusting to life in this new world.
You guys and your very obvious accents and voices.
Oh, really?
It's not really a mystery in the same way that your show is not really a mystery. It's just some kids running around in circles chasing people in costumes.
Well, I'm gonna say you're in the right ballpark, but you're very specific. With my name, which that's not my name, but I'm the same thing. As
All right,
fuck
let
it,
me-
I am that person. Fuck it,
Yeah,
yeah.
Let me
Right,
take a
Rob, you-
guess then. What do you want for Christmas? You want Scooby snacks, don't you?
Why, yes, I suppose I do. I don't know what
Of course
the
you
fuck
do.
I'm supposed to be there. Why, yes, Jeff, I'm a hound. I don't know what I want for Christmas.
Southern Scooby-Doo. They had episodes in the South, did they not?
I don't know. So since you've guessed 2 of us correctly and more or less correctly, if you can get Arnold's last name, You'll be a super. Do dogs do that? A super guesser.
Schwarzenegger. Is that right?
That's his real
that was the
name.
most delicious.
Oh, Arnold Jägermeister. Is that what you're saying?
So it
His real
sounds
name?
like the real name, but there's
My
two
name doesn't
things.
sound anything like Jägermeister.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You got one part of it right. Wait,
I had to
why
change
did I
it so
do
that they
it?
would still know who I am.
He
I'm a
wanted
celebrity
shin
of the
guards and a
highest quality.
ball and a hockey park.
Okay, so is this Arnold from a specific movie? Where
I
he's
don't think so.
poking
He's
children?
like a
You
part
just
of his
have to get my
name.
last name right, man.
It's a
It's not
combination of the
Schwarzenegger.
things he likes.
It's not. It's Jäger. I
Maybe
almost said
Jäger
Why
don't
don't you
like
say
it.
my last name real slow
What else
like?
besides what? Sorry, I keep doing it.
Schwarzenmeister.
Try it again.
Jäger.
One more time.
Jäger. Jägernegger.
Schwarzer.
Schwarzenjäger.
Oh, so
Very
close.
good. That's very good. I
Is it
don't
right?
know who I am anymore.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenjäger. It's
By the
Schwarzenegger.
way, has
Did I get it right?
anybody seen my dog? He's run off. It was weird. I think I was hallucinating it. But the last time I saw him, he looked like he was making a phone call or something. And then he opened the door with his paws like he actually had thumbs. It was weird.
The game's over. This is just great.
Yeah.
What? Did he get
I knew making Annie do the Schwarzenegger voice was gonna pay off.
Yeah.
He guessed that he literally guessed that you were a dog that had recently become a human.
What?
Well, he said I was Scooby Doo, which is kind of
Oh,
tangentially.
you guys. Jeff could have gotten it.
Annie
Man, I'm sorry.
wins, says Jody.
We can
Did
play
I,
it
win?
again.
Did I still not guess
I
her all the
think
way?
You were
No,
probably
you got
about
it.
75 to
You
80%
didn't.
correct
You
across
didn't
the
jingle
board.
all the way, Jeff.
gotta
You,
be-
you only
Oh,
jangled
was
half
that it?
the way.
Was that it from?
By the way, Jody, my
supposed to-
family is going to
what
love
happened?
that effed up Christmas story as well. So
Oh, good.
solidarity.
Yeah, indeed.
That's my rough
indeed.
understanding of that game.
All right, what did I not get right? Okay, so,
So-
I didn't get right. So you weren't specifically Scooby Doo.
No, I was a dog that recently became able to talk.
Gotcha. All right.
I think you got Laurie's straight, like, that was right, wasn't it?
Just straight up Steve Irwin, I guess.
Is it
And
just?
my apologies to any Australian viewers I may have offended. I promise I normally have a decent Australian accent. That was
My apologies to Austrians.
I don't know. If you close your
also
eyes,
know
I'd be like, oh, it's Arnold's
my-
talking about
But I'm not
Shin
apologizing
guards.
to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I don't expect
we
you
don't-
to.
We don't owe him anything.
Indeed. All right. Well, Gary was
I do have to
that.
head off.
You have to go. So thank you for hosting Gary's games
Make
today.
like a
Thank you,
baby.
Gary.
Head out.
Nice. I like that. Thank you so much, Gary. You are a festive man indeed. Thank you for.
I mean, not as festive as Annie, but
That's true. This is true.
Not quite. Not quite.
who's gonna get
I
there?
saw to
All
it
right.
that nobody could beat me.
No one. You can try all you want.
I have Arnold's spirit inside me.
All right. So our
That's
next.
probably assault, but yeah.
All right. We got one last thing. A short request from Stephen Rowland. Some of you may recognize that name, SL Rowland. He wrote Pangea Online, the first audiobook that Justin Thomas James narrated for Soundbooth Theater. And also he is his Sentenced to Troll series has done really well on Audible as well. So you probably know who Stephen L. Rowland is. He has a new book. Well, I'm not sure how new this Path to Villainy book is. Let me check it out. Path to Villainy in Kindle Store. So this is SL Rowland, and he released it November 18th, 2020. So just a month it's been out. It's doing quite well. It's already on Audible, narrated by Alex Knox for Tantor Audio. But yeah, we've always liked Stephen Rowland's stuff, and we like to support him whenever we can. So this Path to Villainy, it looks like the MC is a kobold.
which, if any of you are not such mega nerds as I am, a
That's
kobold is a
dark. I don't know.
well, yeah,
It's a dark elf.
no,
It's a goblin.
nope,
It's a
nope, kind of close, They're like little frail dragon people.
Really?
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
what I've been
Like
picturing
if you
this
look at
whole
this picture, that's him. That's a kobold right there.
Sorry,
So this is actually a more epic looking, badass looking kobold than what they usually look like. They're usually goblin like. They're kind of easy cannon fodder mobs that
This
you
is
fight.
the
at beginning of
Hollywood
dungeon.
version of a
This is the
kobold.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like this is the George Clooney version of a kobold. So with that those windswept horns. All right, so yeah. So did you guys, Lori? I'm pretty sure I emailed you. Annie, you got your
Yes, I
script
got
as
it.
well.
Mm.
All right, Path
got
to
it in
Villainy
front
by
of me.
SL Rowland. And so we only have one stable character here. So do either of you want to volunteer to be the main character?
Sure, doesn't matter.
Okay, Lori will now be.
I haven't read it
able to-
yet. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's totally fine. I
You're a
haven't either.
much better cold reader than I
Yeah.
am,
Technically, I rarely have read almost anything we perform, so
which
Okay.
is very impressive.
All right. So now, so you're the main character. You are that kobold guy. Annie,
Okay.
I guess you can be the Jersey dwarves.
Okay.
If you can take any random, either one of you guys can volunteer to take random characters, and I will narrate.
Okay, so
wait.
who's,
So I'm
okay,
Wit.
so how will I know that I'm a dwarf, a Jersey dwarf? Because who's Wit? Is that a random
Joycey.
character, or is that a Jersey
Joycey.
dwarf?
Joycey.
Is that a Jersey dwarf?
Yeah, Wit is the main character.
Okay.
Does Wit have a Jersey accent?
No, Wit does not.
What's his accent?
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't
Those
have
were
one.
words.
It's up to you.
Damn it.
I
Wait, is this
I
one
like-
of those situations we're gonna switch off, or are we just gonna read it straight?
Oh, are we just?
Oh,
gonna
we're
read
ju-
it
we're just gonna read it straight through. It's not very long.
Okay.
Okay.
Like 2 or 3 pages. So.
Whatever
Right.
you wants.
All right.
That's not a good Jersey accent.
All right, so I'm gonna do the book summary, and you guys fumble along.
We will fumble along.
All right, book summary. Scene is chapter 1. Villains aren't born; they're made. Wit was an ordinary NPC, a non-player character in a video game. As a kobold skald, a skald is like a bard. He sang songs to empower heroes before they entered the local dungeons. Every day was a fresh start. Every day, Wit woke with no memory of his previous encounters with all those so-called heroes. And every day he forgot the countless beatings and deaths he took at the hands of the murder hobos he valiantly buffed. But when all of those memories suddenly come flooding back, he only wants one thing: revenge.
Greetings, adventurers. How may I assist you today?
Wit stared at the 3 armored heroes standing in front of him along the path to the Forgotten Quarters dungeon. A small gnome warrior stepped forward. He wasn't much bigger than Wit. Behind him, a minotaur mage and a human paladin watched with interest. The heroes were explorers from other worlds that appeared on the planet to go on quests, slay monsters, and increase their power. The gnome was clad in shimmering mail that swallowed him whole. He had bright green hair and pointy ears. In one hand, he carried a sword as tall as he was. In the other, a small shield. You want to be the gnome, Annie?
We would like to be. Sorry. We would like to be buffed with one of your songs so that we may defeat the nearby dungeon.
Wit extended his hand.
5 silver.
After the gnome reached into his pouch and handed over the 5 silver coins, Wit took his lute and gently stroked the strings. Their tender melody filled the air, and a soft glow formed around the warrior and his party. Wit softly sang a tune.
Wait, I didn't know I was singing. What should I sing?
I didn't
what
either.
tune should
Have
I sing
fun.
this to?
Some French
Wait,
song.
this is something we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it to the tune of Le'Veon Rose or something.
It was a day, a normal day, when Scrabbled became aware that deep within the mountain's cave there lived a mighty bear. The bear was strong and hardy, but Kobold was as well. He gathered all his weapons, his armor and his potions, but all he really needed was one divine emotion. Definitely does not go with the rhyme scheme. New song request.
Your next favorite French song.
Okay, I got.
No
Okay.
French song.
But you guys are know. Okay.
No. All right, good.
He raged at the beast, and his skin grew hot, his eyes grew feral, and he lost all thought. And when the rage had ended, he once again became aware. Now lying at his feet was the defeated Umber Bear.
The musical notes became visible with each strum of his instrument. In vivid colors of purple and red, they jumped from the lute and dispersed into the bodies of the three adventurers standing before him, as Wit recited the second verse of his song. He didn't have a lovely voice. He wasn't a bard capable of singing love songs to woo women or captivating a crowd.
Wow.
No, he was a skald. A keeper of lore whose songs and poems had the power to send allies into a frenzied rage. The fact that he was a kobold, a reptilian race long believed to be the descendants of dragons, meant that his songs were not beautiful. Just like his voice, they were gruff. Oftentimes, I'm glad he's telling us after we heard it. Oftentimes, they were angry. Every note he sang was rough and grating as it ripped through the air. Okay, so does anyone want to try? Does anyone want to try a death metal version of the song that you just sang?
I would if I hadn't just done Arnold. For
Okay.
Abnormal day.
Yeah, I don't know.
When Kobold became aware. Like, no, wait, that's like hair metal.
That's like, yeah, you're trying to go for like glam rock or something.
Yeah. I think that would have been more appropriate.
I don't want to do any more of that live. I have Enter Sans. Do a Rammstein impression. Rammstein, however people actually pronounce it.
The bear was strong and hardy, but Kobold was as well. He gathered all of his weapons, his armor, and his potions.
Yeah, something like that. Or do they do a growl? Do they growl?
Sometimes, yeah. We are living in America.
Oh, right.
To hush.
Right.
It's wunderbar. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they do a straight up growl, but they do like very like deep bass at times.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we missed that opportunity.
Sorry, guys.
We just had to go pepper it a little bit.
For you,
I know. The kobold took a seat on a nearby stump to wait until the next adventurer appeared. His post was along the path that led to the dungeon entrance. Tall, towering trees with skeletal limbs reached down from above. He had never been in the dungeon. He'd never been much of anywhere. For Wit, every day was the same. He woke, left his village of Mirkwell, crossed the city of Skullhaven, and waited outside of the dungeon to sell his services to adventurers before they entered. At the end of the day, he'd go home, deposit his money into the village fund, and wait for it all to start anew. As he sat there, he saw Shecht, a fellow kobold and bartender of the Merry Minotaur Inn, passing by. Wit waved to Shecht. Shecht stopped and turned to Wit. You're a kobold.
Greetings, adventurer. Welcome to the Merry Minotaur. Would you like a room or a drink?
Wit just shook his head. Every day it was the same. Shecht walked by, said the same idiotic sentence, then carried on toward town. Shecht looked almost identical to Wit, with the same rust-colored scales, reptilian face, George Clooney, good looks, and ivory horns that protruded just behind his ears. Like all kobolds. Yet, he was the only kobold that behaved in this way. He must have been dropped on his head one too many times as a child. How he managed to run a bar, Wit had no idea. The day passed slowly before the next group of adventurers appeared. Wit watched the swaying branches of the trees, not thinking about anything in particular. He turned his head as a raucous party clamored their way over. A group of 4 dwarves laughed and bantered as they approached. A short, stout dwarf carrying a warhammer smashed his weapon into the side of his party member. It clanked against the armor, dropping the dwarf's health by a chunk. The other 2 dwarves howled with laughter.
Greetings, adventurers. How may I assist you today?
Shut up, Kobold!
The warhammer-wielding dwarf sneered, twisting his warhammer against his palm. He sported a thick red beard, braided intricately down his chest and adorned with silver clasps and brown leather armor.
Give us your stupid buff!
The other three dwarves laughed even harder. Wit took a step back, unsure why the adventurer was treating him with such hostility. The bearded warrior stepped forward.
Buff! Now!
He growled. Wit wasn't looking for trouble. In fact, he wanted to get the song over with so that these buffoons could be on their way. He extended his hand.
5 silver.
The group laughed as the warrior handed Wit the coins. An uneasy feeling passed through Wit that he couldn't quite explain. The scales on the back of his neck grew cold. He strummed his lute, casting the party in a golden glow. Then he began to sing. The party nodded their heads vigorously to his music, letting their thick locks whip through the air. The entire experience had Wit on edge. Something was definitely off. When Wit finished his song, a devious smirk spread across the warrior's face. A ring of purple energy swirled around each party member, displaying that the buff had taken effect. The warrior laughed. It was icy, causing the patch of cold on Wit's neck to spread even further.
Thanks for the buff, Kobold.
The warrior smiled.
I've got a tip for you.
The other dwarves laughed. Wit scrunched his nose. He'd never been given a tip before. Before he had time to understand what was happening, the warhammer connected with the side of his head. Wit's vision blurred, darkening around the edges. He tried to focus, but all he could think about was the ringing in his ears. Above the dull drone, laughter reigned. A second blow brought Wit to his knees. He fought to stand, but it was no use. His world was darkness and laughter. Then nothing at all. All right, so that's the beginning of that story.
Oh, baby.
Got hit from a warhammer to the face by a Jersey Shore dwarf. Oh, it's just awful. It's terrible. It's terrible.
You got
fate.
snookered.
Why do you write such sad things, Stephen Rowland? So sad.
Wit, baby Wit. Poor Wit. Wit
poor
doesn't
Wit. Well,
understand.
Maybe you guys will understand him a little bit better if you read this book or listen to it. So, look. You're everything.
What's happening?
Everything.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I'm going ADD on y'all.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I'm always catching your music drift.
Nobody
Okay.
goes ADD on me.
So check out Path to Villainy by SL Rowland. Just came out a month ago. It's on Amazon right now. It's doing well. Check Audible. It's also available as an audiobook on Audible. Please go support Mr. SL Rowland. And that will be it for our show for today. So thank you guys so much for coming and hosting the show with me, Annie. As always, your Arnold is mesmerizing.
Grazie.
And Lori, thank you so much for coming. And no thank you for not sharing all that liquor. Jesus.
Excuse me, there's nobody here. I live alone. There's nobody here to share with. Also, I drank all of it.
By the way, yeah, James, I sometimes get myself confused with Bonnie, so I couldn't expect anybody.
James. Sorry, that was aggressive. Sorry, James. James, actually, were you here for her? I don't know what this voice is. Were you here for her Schwarzenegger impression? It was.
Watch
all
the
that in a
replay.
bag of chips.
Watch the
Annie,
don't do it anymore. Annie, don't do it anymore
Okay,
until
I won't.
someone pays
I know,
you.
my
Okay,
voice
it's
is
it's a very valuable
Precious.
performance.
She's not gonna have a voice tomorrow.
We can't
I need
waste
to
it.
get voice insurance for sure.
Yeah, we all do. But Merry Christmas, everybody, and be sure to visit our website tomorrow to get Kringle Down by Shane Hensley. And we love you all of you viewers and buyers and purveyors of audiobooks. You're the best. And here we have a a nice Christmassy scene to
Yep.
play out to.